just gonna go and poo.
Are you?
All
right.
There's a Jubilee replay I want to do.
Oh, okay.
They have a middle ground, anti-ICE, pro-ICE discussion. I want to see how many facts both sides get wrong.
You did?
I just watched that with lunch, Monica.
How was it?
It was
frustrating.
It went as well as you would expect it to. When you've got two people who live in very different universes coming together who have
like He-Man and Skeletor.
Yeah. So I almost think they have a mediator because the claims, and then they don't do live fact checking either. People are entitled to their own opinions, but they're not entitled to their own facts. It's not my quote, somebody else's quote. And then also, you get an opinion on the situation based on the facts that you're paying attention to, but you've also got to introduce all the other facts that you don't know.
Or to align. And if you put the creative bar there, then you'll never lose sight as to why to sit down and take the time to write. It's a sacred process.
When you think of the concept of Tartarus, a lot of things are placed there simply because of their nature, right? The Hecaton Harries, or
necessarily almost.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the Hecaton Harries?
What?
You said Hecaton Harries. What are the Hecaton Harries?
They're the children of Gaia that got condemned to Tartarus.
Oh, you're talking about mythology.
Yeah, and they actually helped the Olympians defeat the Titans, and then got sent back to Tartarus as a reward. Great, good job.
Sounds a lot like the Israeli Olympians who were terrorized by the Palestinian terrorists.
I just think I just think that the archetypes, right? The so-called men, the philosopher kings, according to Plato, or Muhammad, Jesus, Noah, Moses, all these names that we hear within the Abrahamics, insisted on this heaven and hell concept with such dramatic fervor as a noble lie.
Objective.
I'm drawn to objective thought. For every claim, there must be a refutation. And if I'm making that claim myself, I'll refute it also myself.
Well, you've got good taste in men because obviously you wouldn't date somebody with nothing. What's that song?
If you can't
No
still
broke
man the
boys.
opposition, then you haven't really reasoned your whole way through the issue. So.
Alistair was making a good point, is that leading the most pleasurable life for some is probably, for the majority, is probably considered to be the most desirable or sought after.
Yeah, Alistair is
I just like those too.
Alistair is a clown.
But exactly. But see, the fool who persists in his folly ultimately becomes the sage, and the sage is the precursor to the Messiah.
I think everybody should have a hedonistic era.
I agree.
Ooh, do tell us yours, Dr. Kaur. Tell us yours, Narjas. Let's hear about the decadence.
Oh, I'm so decadent. I'm vulgarly hedonistic.
Well, she said it's kind of like a phase you go through. I think it's something that you experience as part of your development, and then you put behind you to aspire to greater things.
It gets tiring. It really tires you out.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
But I keep going back every now and then for its temporal joys.
It's my favorite temporary autonomous zone.
Yeah. As long as, I think every time I haven't recognized its temporal nature and given it that sort of realness and seriousness, that is where I have had my downfalls with hedonism. But whilst being in it and kind of not associating with it seriously, it's been so pleasurable. And walk out of it every now and then. And walk out of it every now and then.
Yeah, but Alan Watts says the biggest ego trip going is thinking you have an ego. And since it's a concept and doesn't exist in the real world, really what it is just a concept. And if you're really aware of yourself and your environment, there is no ego. Hello?
If you're observing it.
My favorite Alan Watts thing is when in the movie Her, they've made a Alan Watts AI that then led them to create their own AI universe, and they just like abandoned humanity. It was great.
There is such a thing in this time. I still quite loved.
Shut the fuck up, Toast.
Shut the fuck up, Toast.
Yeah, but what if you could transcend desire to the point where it no longer necessitates you to pursue hedonism or enjoyment altogether?
Yeah, that would be bliss. That's why, like, most gurus will start with things like Vipassana, where you start by just freaking not getting bound by your senses. Like, first would be the 10 days of maintaining silence through serving, like in the ashram. It's one of the hardest things I've done in my life. I've done it 3 times, where to not speak at all and to sort of like sweep and swab after people, to walk and just serving and never uttering a word.
Well, that's really because you had to do all the work. But you could come on Clubhouse and just shut the fuck up for 10 days. It's not a lot of work, right?
So,
all right, guys, I've got to go do payroll. Talk to you later.
So first it would be like sound, I think, speech. Then it would be like feeding the body lesser. The more you're sort of distancing yourself from sensual pleasures, right? By just like disciplining it and giving it the least or the most minimum amount, then you're not bound by it. You're in control of it.
Right. But people would consider that not living and closer to basically being a corpse, which is true. But
for that period of time, once one has achieved power over it, no matter how much it is fed, or it doesn't matter to it anymore. It could live in like extreme physical abundance or nothingness.